Isaac Bess. All my relatives wisecrack. Any of you were alive in the 80s? Remember Max Headroom? This is my Max Headroom moment. I'm Isaac. I live in Los Angeles. I've been working for TikTok since 2018. Prior to that, I worked at YouTube for 7 years and in the music business for about 20 years before that. The team that we've built at TikTok is focused on not only mobile, but more broadly on distribution, the idea of pushing TikTok out into the universe. And mobile partnerships have been an integral piece of that puzzle. Since 2018, we've closed more than 1,200 partnerships in the mobile space with many of you in this room and certainly in the larger GSMA community. In the earliest days, we were focused primarily on data and the idea that data was the biggest encumbrance for the acquisition of users and the freedom of for those users to use TikTok as much as we would like. So we've done several hundred partnerships in the mobile data space. We've done dozens of partnerships in the preload space. But over time, we've seen the categories of partnerships that we focus on continue to evolve, understandably. And so we're continuing to work with operators, but increasingly with cloud providers, with infrastructure leaders to address issues like network efficiency, digital transformation, and in some ways, most importantly, security. Certainly at TikTok, we feel like innovation doesn't happen in isolation, and so the dialogue between us and our partners is an integral piece of how we push this product into new dimensions. So the opportunity here is for us as a community to co-create new ways that TikTok can be a great experience for our users, for our advertisers, for our partners. So trust is really at the core of let's say, like how we think about partnerships at this stage in our trajectory. And some of you may be aware that we recently launched an initiative called the STEM feed in the US. So is everybody here familiar with TikTok? How many TikTok users we got? Oh, that's not as many as I would like. Wi-Fi is free. Download TikTok. My 81-year-old mother just downloaded TikTok, so if she can do it, you guys can do it. So the STEM feed is a dedicated space within TikTok focused on science, technology, engineering, and math. And this was in response to user demand. We knew that category of content was being consumed at great volume, and so we consolidated it into one place, and the consumption has been through the roof. And we're seeing people who want to learn how to code, or aspiring scientists who are testing things out and using our platform as a way to learn, to engage with other people with similar interests. So STEM feed is a great example of how that impact is being felt. We're going to be bringing STEM feed to other markets in the course of 2025 and beyond, and we think this category of innovation is really at the core of how we approach engaging, again, with this community. But infrastructure is also maybe a slightly less exciting but equally important component of how we seek to innovate. And of course, for those of you in this room know that the infrastructure around the video throughput in particular has evolved quite dramatically in the course even of the last 3 years. So we have more than 1 billion users, and we have made and continue to make material investments in the infrastructure required to deliver video all over the world to those users and to ensure that they have a smooth and a secure experience. We've established data centers across the US, in Europe, in Asia. We have facilities in Virginia, in Dublin, in Norway, and we've made huge investments, or we're about to make huge investments into Malaysia and Thailand. There's a level of focus on the efficiency of having our servers closer to end users, but there's also a security component that's really important. So as you may know, we route 100% of our US users' data through Oracle's cloud infrastructure, which means that whatever nefarious thing I might aspire to do with our users' data, I literally cannot do it. I do not have access to TikTok's user data. We have a parallel effort in Europe called Project Clover, which represents a 12 billion euro investment over the course of the next 10 years, working closely with European governments to ensure that we are providing a secure experience and in compliance with local regulations. At the same time, in Asia, again, we continue to invest heavily in infrastructure, in storage. But beyond the infrastructure itself, it's really about how we collaborate with operators to ensure that that access, that video throughput is at the very highest level. So we're heavily engaged, in particular, with members of the GSMA like Telefonica, like Orange, to really stay focused on the idea of network optimization. And we've launched pilots with those operators in particular, but continuing to think about network optimization as the prime way that we can ensure that TikTok is a great experience for mobile customers for all of our partners. Open Gateway, of course, is I'm sure you're all familiar, Open Gateway is a really important part of this piece. And simply ensuring that data can go from point A to point B is not enough. We need to make sure that we can do so with the maximum level of safety and security for our users, for you, for our partners. And again, the GSMA and the Open Gateway initiative is really an important part of that. So I think you know that Open Gateway is an initiative that aggregates and anonymizes the data of users and then makes it available via a wide variety of SDKs and APIs. This is an evolving initiative, and we have been and we intend to continue to be at the vanguard of how Open Gateway is leveraged to make for great experiences. I think you're probably all aware that we're under a tiny bit of political pressure, and that pressure is actually quite healthy. It helps us to ensure that we're doing our best to make sure that our users are safe, that our partners are safe. And so Open Gateway is a terrific example of this. So initially we partnered with Telefonica and with Vivo in Brazil in particular around the number verification API. So this allows users to log into TikTok in an entirely seamless manner. We've taken the number of steps required to authenticate into into TikTok rather, from 8 down to 4. So you have an increasingly seamless experience that is increasingly secure and good for everybody. In 2025, we're going to expand this to 4 other markets across Africa, Asia, and Latin America. Again, the intention being that authentication can be as smooth and painless and secure a process as possible. Now, I know that number verification is not the most exciting topic when you think about TikTok. So I could be up here talking about all the cool videos that our users create, but I think for this group it's important to really reassert that safety, that security is really top of mind for us. So download TikTok, watch some cool videos, but bear in mind that we are keeping security really at top of mind, and our partners are an integral piece of that. So why start with number verification? The answer is simply security and trust. We know that fraud is becoming increasingly sophisticated. We know that the AI is only exacerbating that. We have synthetic IDs being generated, new types of digital fraud that are intended to find nefarious ways to exploit vulnerabilities. Number verification API helps us to get in front of that. And in using this real-time data from our operator partners, we're able to instantly detect when there's suspicious activity and proactively get in front of things like identity theft and fraud. For our users, this means, as I said, a faster and a safer login experience. Registration process cut in half, which is pretty amazing. And so lowering the barrier to entry for becoming a TikTok user without sacrificing one iota of security. We think this is just the beginning of how we can broaden our relationships with the operator community to really work towards these mutual goals. Going forward, we obviously are very committed we've been a member of the GSMA for a long time. We're committed to participating in an even more integral fashion. Part of this involves location services to ensure that we have the most, you may be, for the TikTok users among you, you'll know that part of the magic of TikTok is that it is hyper-personalized and that the app reacts to how users engage with the content. And in leveraging anonymized data from our partners via these Open Gateway APIs, we can ensure that personalization experience is even better in the future. Number 2, continue to work on network optimization, reducing things like latency, improving the video streaming quality. The expectation, I think, in markets big and small increasingly is that video be delivered fast, be delivered seamlessly, to look and sound perfect, and we are committed to making sure that is the case. Focus on blockchain-based transactions to ensure purely secure purchases and transparent digital interactions. And then lastly, edge computing solutions to power next-generation content experiences. So all of this can transpire with privacy sort of at the core. Again, aligned with the Open Gateway Initiative and the Camara standard, this ensures that our users remain entirely in control of their own data. Again, any TikTok employee, there's several of us here, whatever terrible thing you might think that we would want to do with your data, we can't do it. It's simply impossible. So it's easy to think of TikTok purely as a platform for entertainment, and it certainly is entertaining. But I want to just reassert that our commitment to security is first and foremost in our mind, especially in this community, and we welcome the opportunity to continue to engage with all of you to understand how we can do a better job. Again, the pressure that we feel is real, and it's a commitment to our users to ensure that they are safe on an ongoing basis, and so we welcome input from you and feedback from you on how we can work together to accomplish that goal. Thanks very much. Really appreciate your time and your partnership.